Hi there, and welcome to Fuzzy on the Details. My name is Fuzzy, and we've got some big updates to the MMRPG website to talk about today. For those who don't know, you can find lots of fantastic information on marvel.com/RPG. You've got experimental rules, tons of free profiles, free maps, and adventure, and other bonus content and free stuff. One unassuming link that you don't want to sleep on is the FAQ submission button. This is your direct line of contact with the dev team. If you're ever confused about a rule or you think you might have found some errata, head on over to marvel.com/RPG, click on that link, and let Marvel know. I know for a fact that they monitor this very closely, and the errata and facts that we're going to review today are a direct result of the community taking the time to submit questions and feedback. So thanks to everyone who made submissions. We've gotten new errata about every half year since the game has been out. Usually on the same day we get other treats on the website, whether it's a FAQ update, a Tony's Workshop, a developer's update, or, like we got today, a ton of new content tying in MMRPG with the new Marvel Rivals PvP shooter. I'll be breaking that down in a separate video. But first, let's dig into errata. I've pulled out all of the new changes and will be showing them on screen, so you don't have to go back and compare the new PDF with the older ones to see what's changed. The changes to recovery is actually something that Matt Forbeck unofficially confirmed in a Facebook post many months ago, but it's taken a while to get into the official errata and therefore hasn't been updated in the digital versions of the game yet. The original text read, "On a success, total up the number normally, just like you would with a damage roll." The only problem, of course, is that you don't normally total before multiplying it by your rank for anything in the game. So this generated a lot of confusion over the last year and a half and led to some pretty huge healing totals. So this new approach may take some getting used to for some. Of course, if you like the extra healing, you can always house rule it to function like the way it did pre-errata, but personally, I'm happy to see that they made this change formal. Lots of folks discovered that the flashbang grenade was super powerful as it blinded and stunned enemies on a regular success pre-errata. Nerfing this a bit and making it a blind on a regular hit and a stun on a fantastic is much more balanced. I will definitely be adopting this change. Enhanced physique used to let a character function as one size bigger for lifting, carrying, swinging, and throwing things, which didn't stack with mighty, so it didn't get chosen a lot. Now, however, it also adds an edge on melee non-combat checks, which I think is a very creative addition. Especially with the Spider-Verse book coming out, there's going to be a lot of folks webbed up come March, and this will definitely help them escape. I like this one a lot. The Bolts of Balfac used to tell you to make an ego check against agility, but it did agility damage. Now it does ego damage, which I think is how most powers work. The damage ability is typically the same as the attack ability, even if you're attacking against a different ability defense. So this one makes sense to me. And changes to energy absorption were floated around in the last Tony's Workshop. This is definitely a nerf, but energy absorption was on every Power Gamer's character sheet when the game first came out, so nerfing it by saying it can't be used again until the focus gained was spent makes sense to me. It is still a really, really good power. The changes to lightning actions were also discussed in the latest Tony's Workshop. Instead of gaining an extra action and an extra reaction, you gain the flexibility to convert a reaction to a standard action or vice versa. This is still really powerful, especially if you've got extra reactions from combat reflexes. The ability to use two powers as standard actions in one round is no joke. And the update to the Shield of the Seraphim power is pretty straightforward. The original text just neglected to include a trigger, and this fixes it. Telepathic Link used to say that on a success, the character could communicate with the target for one round. It now lasts as long as you concentrate on it. It's a good change. One round was extremely limiting. The only change to telepathic network is the word previously in that first sentence. It used to only work on linked people, not previously linked people. This makes a lot more sense. If you have 5 people in your party, you can link with them all at once, assuming you've had some level of psychic familiarity with them. Instead, it would have taken 5 actions to kick off telepathic link for all of them. There are 2 changes to Cap's shield here. First, it now explicitly says melee and ability damage with that +1, instead of just damage. And second, you no longer have to spend the additional level of focus, which is nice. And third on this page, the Loki change, it's just a typo. And finally, the shield and protection power update was another one that was floated in the Tony's workshop, and I think it makes perfect sense for the extra damage to go through. It just didn't sit right with me and a lot of narrators that a rank 2 protection power could negate the entirety of an attack from a rank 5 or 6 character. This is much, much more balanced. All right, now on to the FAQs. 14 new submissions here. Some of them were really hot topics on the Facebook page, Discord, and Reddit in recent months. Limiting the number of reactions to 1 per trigger. I think that's only come up once in a game that I've run, but it makes sense to me. As does the next one, explaining how tiebreakers work with reactions. The third one here is actually something I did the opposite of, and I'm probably going to change that going forward. I previously only gave participants in the bonus round a reaction. So for example, if you had to drop on somebody that wasn't participating in the bonus round, I wouldn't let them throw up a protection power or skulk. But I'm willing to give this one a try and see how it goes. I don't think it's going to be a really big deal because a change like this impacts the enemies as well as the heroes pretty equally, so we'll see how it goes. By the way, I'm not going to go through every one of these submissions because I think a lot of them are pretty straightforward, but if you do have a follow-up question to anything I skip, by all means, put it in the comments and I'll definitely get back to you. I like the clarification to the flying rule here at the bottom, but keep in mind that the falling rules have some very interesting things to keep in mind. For example, there are ways to control your landing and take less damage when you fall, and even ways to delay your fall by holding your turn for at least a round, kind of like a mutant Wile E. Coyote. There are 2 really interesting ones on the last page here. This getting schooled one is important to have in the errata because that will allow Demiplane to update how the rules work in their system. The same goes for the max rank of 6. This might be changed in Demiplane by the time you hear this, but I've got a video from a while back in which I showed that you could actually take a character that was rank 6 in Demiplane, give it the vampire origin, and it would knock that character up to rank 7 in Demiplane. And you'd get more powers, a new trait, everything you would get with a new rank. So there's a couple things now with this official ruling that Demiplane can go in and finally make those changes and make sure that the systems are in line. And that really helps illustrate why Marvel doesn't release errata more than once every 6 months. Every one of these changes or clarifications might force another company like Demiplane or Roll20 to make a system change that they might not have had plans for. So by doing it all together, maybe holding on to it for a little while and giving your third parties a chance to update their systems, that's just a good thing to do. Anyway, next video is going to focus on the Marvel Rivals update that also went live at the same time the FAQ and the errata did. And there are lots of things to unpack in that nice little chunk of bonus content. Lots of reasons to be excited. Then after that video, I've got a video on Headquarters that I've been working on for way too long and I just need to get out. And then come 2025, we're going to be in full hype mode for the Spider-Man expansion for pretty much the whole first quarter. Marvel always does a really great job of giving us these juicy tidbits before a book comes out, and assuming they do so again, you can bet we're going to be covering it on the channel. So, this is important. If you've got any ideas of things you'd like to see me cover related to that expansion on the channel heading up to the release, let me know. And remember, that feedback button on the website, it's there right now. Whether you've got errata or not, you can use that to share your opinions about what you might want to see them talk about leading up to the release. Let them know. They really do love your feedback. Well, my friends, that is all for now. I am so grateful, as always, for everything that you do to support the channel. All of the likes and shares really makes a big difference. Much appreciated. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. Oh, hey, you're still here? Oh, well, hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. What can I talk about? Oh, hey, how about this? Quick personal update. As you might have noticed, it's been a good month or so since my last video. Figured I'd explain that for those who are curious. Nothing bad, just a combination of a new job that's been kicking my ass. On the plus side, it's been hunting season. For those who don't know, I am a deer hunter. I hunt in upstate New York, and usually between mid-November and mid-December, I kind of disappear from the face of the earth for a while and come back from the woods, hopefully with some meat to put in the freezer. And finally, been having some computer problems which are on the verge of getting resolved so I can more easily create content. I was having some real trouble, especially with longer videos for a month. Still am, but that's going to be resolved soon. So you're going to see the Blood Hunt videos come out with more frequency. I've been recording a ton of them. I've got like 6 that are recorded. I just can't edit them yet until I get the new computer. But all that's going to be resolved soon. Really am excited for the Spider-Man expansion because that means I've got tons of stuff to make content on. Going to aim to get back to at least an every other week schedule. And as always, you've got ideas for what you want to see on the channel, please let me know. Absolutely love your feedback. It really drives what I do. All right, that's it for now. Goodbye for real this time.